Good evening, everyone. My name's Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention Estates here in Indiana. I want to welcome you to our broadcast tonight, COS Indiana Live. And I want to introduce to you my co-host for this evening. This young man is Ken Kashuba. Ken is our State Communications Coordinator. Hello, Ken.
Hello, Dale. Good to see you tonight.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I might as well ask you, I seem to ask you on every broadcast. Now, Ken just started co-hosting late last year, so he's still very new to this position. And so, what broadcast is this, Ken?
We're on number 8, Dale. Number 8.
Number 8. See, Ken keeps track. He's got a little chart that he checks off each time, each broadcast. So, well, that's very good, Ken.
Yeah.
No, I'm really glad to have Ken with me. He's done a great job, and I think he's really added to the broadcast, and he's helped out a great deal. So glad to have you, Ken. We've been trying to tell everyone here as we start the new year in 2022 that we're going with a new concept. We're trying to be more reactive and closer connected to our viewers. So you're going to see us tonight do some things that in an effort to get closer in contact with our viewers and let you, the viewers, more or less guide the content and so forth of our broadcast going forward. And I do want to mention that's the new concept that I'm talking about. Now you'll be hearing more about this as we go along, of course. And before I forget, I want to mention now that we've got the roundtable broadcast coming up next Monday, the 24th. We've designated every fourth Monday of the month to a roundtable discussion and format. So that's coming up next Monday evening, the 24th. Now tonight, Ken will be checking the viewer comments and questions. And so if you have anything that you want to say or
start
a question,
now.
Pardon me?
Start now. Yeah, start putting those viewer questions and comments in there now. Yep.
That's right. And Ken will let us know any that we receive during the broadcast. So once again, I want to mention now that our kind of our theme right now, certainly for this month, is what action can I take by joining Convention Estates? And that's, like I said, that's pretty much our theme. That's what we're trying to present to you this month. Now, tonight, I'll mention that we have as our guest tonight, we have our state events coordinator, Rick Lyon, is going to be our guest tonight. And he's going to talk to us about events coordination. And believe me, folks, that is an important role in our operation here in Indiana. And there's a lot of opportunity there for people to get involved and for you to take action. So we'll bring on Rick here very shortly and talk to him about events coordination in our state. And then in our next segment, it's called Raise Your Voice. And Ken, I'm going to let you take over the explanation here of this particular segment. So take it away, Ken.
Yes. Well, the Raise Your Voice segment is the newest portion of our program, basically, and the way that we are hoping to connect with everybody as far as getting your input for what content you'd like to see us cover here on Indiana Live and on our roundtable. I will bring up here shortly just what our QR code is, so we can show you that once again. So you can get your phone out now. You can see what the Slido.com segment is. Basically, there's a number code there that you can put in if you're using a computer or a laptop. But the easiest way to do this is just get your smartphone out and take a snapshot of that QR code, and that's going to put you directly into the app for our polling segment of the night. And of course that will also show up when we begin that polling section. So if you didn't quite catch it now, it'll start off the program, and it'll be throughout the whole polling section. That is you're able to grab that QR code. So you have plenty of time. Just want to warn you now, get your smartphones out, get ready to participate, because we look forward to handling your input and using that for upcoming content. So that's the Raise Your Voice segment, and that'll be coming up after we're finished letting Rick tell us all about events.
All right, good, Ken. Now, time permitting, we're going to present another contribution. We have certain individuals that we've designated as COS Indiana Live contributors, and so tonight we have another contribution, again from our John Ackerman. John's contributions come to us through John's journal. So John has provided us another contribution tonight, and it's called, the title of it is called Pleasant Things. So I think you're going to really enjoy this one. Of course, we enjoy all of John's contributions. But I think this is a really, really good one. I think you're going to really enjoy it. So time permitting, we'll get that in right at the very end. And then after that segment, then we'll wrap things up. So it's now time to get into basically the first segment called What Action Can I Take in Convention of States? And once again, we're trying to target those of you that actually we've been trying to target those of you that are not supporters of Convention of States, not members of the family as yet, hoping to convince you to become supporters of Convention of States here in Indiana. But we're also obviously targeting and reaching out to those of you that are already supporters and maybe now deciding to start the year out on a new note and have decided maybe to get more involved in Convention of States. So we're reaching out to you as well. So without further ado, let me bring on our state events coordinator, Rick Lyon. So come on, Rick. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Dale. Hey, everybody. Hey, Ken.
Hi, Rick. Good to see you.
You too, buddy.
So see, we pretend like we haven't seen each other in a long time, but actually we've seen quite a bit of each other here lately, getting ready for this broadcast. But anyway, I don't know why I said that.
Among other things.
Among other things, yes. So Rick is our state events coordinator. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, this is a very important position in our state organization. Now, I'm one of those. I've been involved in Convention of States since about 2015, somewhere around there. And believe me, when we first started Convention of States, we didn't have people like Rick. We had to find ways of putting on events and coordinating events as much as we could, the best way we could. That was just all there was to it. And I longed to get someone that would come along and want to take on the position of a state events coordinator. So I'm always very thankful that Rick has signed on and become part of our team, and he does a great job.
Thanks, Dale.
So, Rick, briefly, tell us your COS story. Tell us just kind of the how, when, where you got involved in Convention of States.
All right. Well, just real quick, a little bit about myself. You know, I live in South Bend. I'm originally from Crawfordsville, and all my working life, I worked in the environmental department of steel mills, and So now I'm retired, kind of, in addition to my COS things that I enjoy doing. I'm president of a nonprofit organization called the Worldwide Ministry of Jesus, and I serve on the board of a couple other religious organizations. But my COS story, began with Susan, my wife. She was on the internet and found it, and she's really, into the political stuff. And so she started telling me about that. So I, went to the website and looked and found that there was an opportunity for events coordinator, and that was something that I had some experience with. So I joined Convention of States, Indiana in November of 2020 because, I believe that this country's, headed down two different paths, and neither one of them is good. I think that, there's the path to socialism where the government controls everything, or the path to, revolution where our freedoms are taken back by force. But I sincerely believe that, after getting involved with Convention of States, that, in the absence of free and fair elections, or maybe even with free and fair elections, the Convention of States in Article 5 is the only peaceful, legal, and legitimate way to prevent those two outcomes.
Yeah.
So, once we used to talk about saving the freedoms and saving this country for our grandchildren, but I think those days are gone. Now we have to save it for our children because, the social tyranny is knocking on our door, and part of it's our fault. We've abdicated our right to self-govern, and by trusting our future to distant politicians and then not paying attention to what they were doing. So, so this situation's got us cornered now, and so some parts of it's scary, but I see a lot of great hope with what we're, especially being part of Convention of States. I see a lot of positive things happening and a lot of hope for the future. So,
well, I think, Rick, you're much like me. I was never involved. I never spoke to a politician, spoke to a legislator, I followed the news, but never really got involved until it was Convention of States. And I think you're right. I think where the effort to save the country is a lot more, is closer than it used to be.
Yeah.
You're so right. Yeah. Might mention, Rick mentioned his wife, Susan. They are the first husband and wife team that came on board with us here in Indiana. Susan does our newsletter along, Ken helps out on that. And, but Susan does a great job with our newsletter. So we got a great husband and wife duo here that has really helped us a great deal. All right. Well, Rick, let's get started then.
All right. So why do we do events? One of our primary goals after passing the Convention of States resolution here in the state of Indiana is to reach out to new people, to continue to build a support for this effort, to bring about a Convention of States. We're working to educate people about what they can do, with our theme this month, what people can really do as individuals and as members of Convention of States to take back control of our runaway government. There's people who believe the fake news about, how we should fear a runaway convention, but my greatest fear is a runaway government. And I think we need to educate people about the fact that they can do something about that. And it is, the teamwork and the cooperation of what we like to call an army of citizen activists working legally and peacefully, to save the greatest nation ever for our children. So that's why, I think we do events. But so, how do we reach out to new people to build support in Indiana and, and even in other states? How do we provide current members with meaningful and productive ways to serve and, to do something that really makes a difference? That I think there's three ways that we do that. And one way, and this is a very important way, is to reach out one-on-one, person to person, to our family and our friends. And, we have almost 70,000 members out there. And if each one of those speaks to a family or a family member or a friend or a coworker about what we're doing, this thing can grow even faster than it is now. No longer than I've been involved with this, it's seen phenomenal growth for sure. And, part of that's probably the political atmosphere, but it's also from the work and the effort of the people that are part of this organization.
Very much so. Very much so. Yes.
And then another aspect that another way that we reach out to new people is the social media, which has such a broad public reach that anybody looking for what they can do about the overbearing, irresponsible, corrupt government problems that we have. They can find information about COS through social media. But the third way, I think, is through events where we meet people who are unfamiliar with convention estates, and we give them literature and we share with them about what we're doing and what they can actually do, to make a difference.
Yep.
So I think that's why events are important, because we can reach people in comfortable and pleasant settings, where they're free to listen or they're free to go, and they can take what they hear, what they read in their brochure, and then they can take it or leave it. But either way, they will not leave less informed about what they can do to change things, and hopefully they'll have a better idea of what they can actually do to make a difference.
Okay.
So let me talk now, I guess, about a little bit about what kind of events do we do, what type of events we do. So there's a long list here, but we do festivals. Indiana has a lot of really good festivals. We do car shows, we do 4-H fairs, we do gun shows, we do bike shows, we do air shows, we do library displays, political rallies. Last year we even did a movie theater event that had over 100 people came and watched a free movie. And, we participated in a parade in Noblesville, which was something, I'd never experienced before. And
that was actually our second parade. We did a parade in Plymouth. I believe it was maybe a year before last.
Oh,
but yes, that's kind of a new event for us. Yes.
Well, it's a fun and a apparently impactful event, because you could tell a few people that were lining the streets. A few of them really knew what COS, what convention estates was, but they recognized the three tenets of our organization, from the banners, and would a lot of them would shout out and say, yeah, term limits, yes, that kind of thing. So, but at that event, we handed out over, I think it was like 400 brochures that day. And if the event coordinator had realized the size of the event he was getting involved with, we might have given out twice that many. So, I didn't bring near enough. So,
yeah. Well, live and learn. That's how we.
We'll be more prepared next time.
We'll be prepared next time. If there is a next time, I tell you, this COVID thing is really. As you mentioned the festivals and everything. Of course, we're now hopefully getting geared back up on those types of events. I hope this latest surge of COVID doesn't tamper that down again this year.
Hopefully it's short-lived.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
I think some of the government officials are starting to wake up to the harm that what they're doing. One, what they're doing doesn't seem to be working, and two, the harm that they've done by trying to do it. So anyway,
and we're never going to get to a zero count either. That's what we have to get used to. We have to learn how to live with this thing.
I think people are getting sick of this stuff too.
Yep.
So anyway,
right, go ahead.
We've had the town hall meetings, with like Dr. Dan Stock, which everybody loves, Dr. Dan. And, we've had some in-home gatherings where people would invite people to their house for a cookout or a dinner or something, and do a short presentation on convention estates. And so one of the things we're looking at is doing what we're calling block walking groups, where people go like door to door and hand out literature and that kind of thing. So, but, speaking of literature, let me talk a little bit about the materials and logistics of what we're trying.
Before you get into that, I want to mention one other type of event that you forgot, and that's the virtual events, like what we're doing right now.
Right.
And I will say the roundtable coming up next week, Rick is very, very much involved in promoting and putting on and organizing the roundtable meeting. So that just came to mind as you were talking about the different types of events. And I thought I'd mention that, Rick. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, don't be sorry. That's good. Jumped right in there.
Okay.
So
this is the part that has always been so difficult for so many of us, and Thank goodness you're handling this. Go ahead.
So, this is whenever you do anything, you got to have the materials to do it with. You got to have what I call logistics. We've got to have printed materials, banners, signs, those types of materials. But we also need, a place to do events. We need the planning of an event. We need the people, and it takes some money to do the events as well. So that's what I call materials and logistics. And so we need that sort of thing. But Convention States National has provided some really good printed materials for us to hand out, and they're on the website that people can go there and purchase those handouts, and they're really high quality. They really got a good message. Whoever designed them really did a good job.
And there's some good shirts out there.
Good shirts too, yes. So the handouts and things, they're important because they explain the purposes and goals of Convention of States and tell people how to learn more. They're not going to get everything they want to know or need to know from those, but it's going to get them started with what they really need to know. And if it sparks their interest, then they can dig deeper and, on the website and things like that. So, some of the materials that we have show like, media and political celebrities that support Convention of States, of which, there's many. I was surprised by this when I got involved. People like Sean Hannity and Mark Levine, and one of my favorites is Ben Carson and Rand Paul, and a lot more. And so, we don't have many Hollywood celebrities supporting Convention of States, I don't think, not that I know of, but we certainly got a lot of smart people on TV and internet that are on our side.
Right.
So, and of course, these type of materials cost money. Most event hosts purchase their own materials, but we can help with that. Convention States National helps with it when needed. So hosting events takes time and planning. To find a place for an event, to register for the event, gather up the materials, staff the event. But when it comes to staffing the event, we've got experienced people there, and to help you with that. And so all the logistics that go into planning an important event, we can help you with that. But we do need your support for these things in order to host more events. And we've got an event coming up here on February 10th with Marty Wood. Marty's doing a rally at the state capitol. We have we just sent in the application just a few days ago and got it approved that we're going to have a booth on the third floor of the state capitol building. The legislature's in session, the legislators are there. We're going to be there with a couple of tables and a banner and COS leadership. And so all of you that, listening to this, you're invited to come to that. In fact, you're encouraged to come to that. Please come and help us, show how much support we really have for what we're trying to do here. So,
good.
But, when it comes to opportunities to serve events, one of our most important things here recently that we've added is what we're calling regional event coordinators. The most important thing of everything we do, but especially events, is people. And so we've recently created this opportunity for people to serve. And, we've asked every regional captain in the state, I think Ken would know this, 14 or 16.
There's 14 regions. I think we've got 8, I think it is, region captains in place right now.
Okay.
Looking to add the additional ones this year, hopefully.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something to do to help make a difference in all this, be a regional captain, be a district captain, or come and be a regional event coordinator and help us host these events. And, if you can be a regional event coordinator, you can help the local members who would like to do an event, but maybe they've never done one before. They don't know how to do it. And so they need somebody to it was just me, but then we started, as the number of events grew and the interest grew and we started having more events, it just became too much for me to try to cover the whole state, getting out materials and helping people. So we came up with this program of regional event coordinators to where you should have somebody very close to you that can help you and help you do an event or help you work in an event. If you don't want to host one, you can come and certainly serve in an event.
That's really important. I mean, you got a festival coming up some weekend, and you think, well, I'll put on an event there at that festival. Well,
Right.
when you start getting into that, there are a lot of things that you have to take into consideration to pull that off. So it's so very helpful to have someone there that's been through it before that can help you
Right.
get through that process. It's very important, very important.
Yeah.
And regionally, now this is a new thing that we've started this year, the regional events coordinators. So we have a couple people that have stepped forward to take on those roles. So we need more. We need more.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, every opportunity creates challenges and successes.
Yeah.
So the challenges have been, like most nonprofit organizations, is to find the people and the money to do those things we want to do. That's just part of trying to do anything. So, while we've always found what we've needed when we needed it, we're kind of victims of our own success in a way that, as we get more events, we need more stuff, we need more people, we need more materials.
Yeah.
So when I became the first event coordinator in Indiana, then, we had a few local events and, we had our annual leadership symposium. But today, during the warmer months, there's hardly a week goes by that there's not an event, a COS event somewhere in the state, somebody doing something. So, and if you really want to try to do something and be involved and get involved, and how to do events, even if it's just, you've done a little play or PTA meeting or something, if you have even a little bit of experience, we can help you do a COS event or give you an opportunity to serve at one and learn how to do it. So, but
that's a good step, is to work one first before putting one on yourself. Yeah.
Yep. Just show up and say, hey, I'd like to help, and we'll give you something to do, and we'll give you what what you need to say and how to say it and all that. And
right.
pretty soon you'll be a pro at it. So, and it's a lot of fun too, honestly. So, but one thing I would like to stop and talk about here at the moment is how unique Indiana is, because Indiana is the only state, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure we're the only state that's doing something like this Indiana Live broadcast every Monday evening. Nobody else is doing this sort of thing. No other convention of states state is doing these live broadcasts. And then we do these on Monday evening, and then on the fourth Monday of the month we do the round table. And so one of our roundtables, even we had Senator Mike Braun come on, who's a strong supporter of convention of states and actually helped get the resolution passed. So, but we started doing the roundtable, I think about a year ago, and it's kind of evolved a bit, but we've come up with a really new, thanks to Ken and Dale, we've taken a step in a new direction with all that. And I think it's a very positive change, a very more interactive change where people are going to have a bigger voice in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and giving them the opportunity to be part of all this. But I think you're going to have to tune into the roundtable at the end of the month to find out more about that. So
yeah.
It's pretty darn cool.
Good.
One of our friends and viewers out there wanted to remind us of a very important event coming up, and that's James was reminding us that we have midterms coming up in November. So James wanted to remind us of that, as well as say hi and remind us that political rallies are something we can certainly get behind.
Good.
Sure.
Good. I'm glad to see James on tonight. Missed him last time.
Yep.
James, what you're saying there, I think, emphasizes the importance of having events, especially, as the weather starts to break and we get into the warmer months coming up here shortly, hopefully shortly. But, with those midterm elections coming up, now's the time for us to make a push. Now's the time for us to really get out there and work, because, these midterms elections, I think every year we say, oh, this is the most important election ever. But I think these midterm elections are going to be a real turning point one way or the other for this country. So,
yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, just another reminder: the roundtable is coming up next Monday, the 24th, and I think we're going to have Rick back on the roundtable, talk a little bit more about this, and I think you're going to have one of your regional events coordinators on with you then,
Yep.
right?
Susan Perry is going to be joining us.
Okay, so we'll get some firsthand information from Susan as one of our new regional events coordinators.
Right.
All right. Well, we've gone over time here. Which is okay. That's okay.
Good segment. Good segment.
I'll just wrap up real quick with
Okay.
saying, we invite you to come and be part of the events team for COS Indiana, and we'd love to have you. This is an opportunity where you can actually do something to make a difference. And if you want to come help us, just you can contact me at the email. My email is ricklyon, and then the number 606@gmail.com. So,
Okay.
all right, that's it for me. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, Rick.
Did his wife Susan make a comment or anything? Say anything? About
No,
it?
she stayed pretty quiet. I think Rick pretty
Really?
much told her, yeah, that
That's
she'd have to
surprising.
snow shovel or something if she said anything out there. So.
I appreciate your thought, Ken, but I guarantee you that.
or in your case, maybe spread some salt. I don't know. I know you guys got some ice up there.
Yeah, we got ice here. So.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Have a good evening, bud.
You too, buddy.
Thank you.
And we also had one other comment from Jerry Rowe, one of our SIA. He has mentioned. Whoops.
Put it back up there.
Yeah,
there
he's mentioned another thing coming up in midterms. This website. I'm not overly familiar with the website. Are you, Dale? But Flip More Americans ID as Republicans. I'm not sure, but this is the Washington Examiner opinion area there. So that's just something Jerry Rowe wanted to throw up. So I figured I'd put that up there for people to see.
Sure. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's about it, other than a few highs.
Okay. All right. Well, that's always good to know. All right. Okay. Well, once again, a roundtable coming up next Monday. So tune in to that. Well, Ken, this is Raise Your Voice, and I'm going to let you and Marengo Mike take it away. All right.
Now we'll let our little friend Marengo go ahead and introduce it.
Raise Your Voice, a segment that features you. Scan the code and join the fun. It's your turn to be heard.
Well, as we mentioned earlier on, we have a Q code, which we're going to go ahead and put back up here along with the let's get the polling started. So we're just going to go ahead and pop that up so you can go ahead and get your phones out if you missed it the first time around. And we're going to start right off with the first question because we are a little long on time this evening. Okay. And this one is, again, another surprise question that popped in here as to where can I find a list of Indiana events so I can host a COS booth? That is a question I think we're going to have to let Rick answer at some point if he's still around. If not, we will put that into our queue for next the roundtable and let people know more about where they can find that list of Indiana events. We do have a team up calendar available, so that's out for public. It's also available on our newsletter. So that's the first question, and we're going to go ahead and move into the one here that I was waiting for, and that is, do you have unanswered questions about convention of states, and if so, what? Now, this is a text area, so basically, go ahead and put in anything that you do have questions about that are unanswered that maybe we haven't addressed. Maybe it's a totally new question we've never heard before, but do you have any unanswered questions about conventions of state? And if so, what? Again, this is a text box. There's no limit, but hopefully you can go ahead and put a few of your unanswered questions in there. We're certainly going to get to them in the roundtable or in our upcoming segments. We will answer any of those questions that we get from you out there. Again, scan the Q code if you got your phone, and if you're on your tablet or computer, go to slido.com and enter 738401 to answer that question and the upcoming questions. We'll move on to our second one here. And remember now, too, you can always answer those questions that you don't have to answer them right now. We can basically get into you can actually answer after the program ends. You can still have time to do these. Here's another one. It's a multiple choice. Which volunteer activity are you most interested in learning about? So we basically have listed a number of these here. to determine, which volunteer activities people are leaning towards getting involved in. And there's a number of them here. Obviously, you've got your how to effectively contact your legislators. We see here one display a convention of states yard sign. We got people that are interested in putting a sign out in their neighborhood. We got some more people coming in here as signing up as volunteer activists. How to effectively contact your legislators, becoming a block walker. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up too as well. Holding a cottage meeting. Now that's something that it has an interesting term to it, cottage meeting. So there's some interesting aspects there, and obviously volunteering at a local gun show or any of the other major gun shows we have there. So that's our second polling question. We'll move into our third question here and give people a chance to answer some more there. We've got Convention of States Indiana's aim is to create a grassroots army that will advocate for the amendments, convention, and elect and support legislators who are like-minded and will enact laws to enhance liberty. If you'll use a scale of 1 to 5 to rank your answers on that, go ahead and tell us what's important here. What's from a ranking standpoint? None to slight, some importance, moderate importance, something that's very high important, or extreme important. What are we finding here? We're seeing 100% right now jumping in at extreme importance as far as Indiana's aim to create a grassroots army that we can advocate for the amendments and convention. So it looks like that one is going to remain pretty high, extreme importance there. With that, we'll go ahead and close out the poll for now. But again, you can continue to answer those. We'll continue to get the results. And again, that goes back to our very beginning poll there. We'll turn this back over to Dale and get ourselves into the last segment here. I think are we gonna ride with our next segment with John?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Before we get into that, I just want to make mention that Ken kind of alluded to this, that any of you that have some afterthoughts, have additional thoughts, have questions that you forgot to bring up that you just thought of, if you want to please get those to us, then email us at raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. Feel free to drop us an email with any other thoughts that you might have about the poll questions or anything related to Convention of States that you would like to comment on. That's raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. All right, Ken. Well, let's go ahead and get into our contributor segment with John's journal. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started, and I'm going to put it on a full screen here so you and I will disappear.
That's fine.
We'll be right back.
John Ackerman for Convention of States, Indiana. Thomas Carlyle once wrote, "Enjoy things which are pleasant. That is not evil. It is reducing of our moral self to slavery by them that is." Think about that. I want to take that apart and study that with you for just a moment or two. Enjoy things which are pleasant. Nothing wrong with enjoying a beautiful sunrise or sunset, a mountain lake, a good steak, an ice cream sundae. Nothing wrong with enjoying things which are pleasant. The evil comes when we reduce our moral self to slavery by it. When you want that thing so much that you're willing to become a servant of it. When you want that thing so much that you'll give up everything else in order to achieve a moment of pleasure. Yeah. And that, my friend, is one of many problems that I have with the welfare state, the granny state, Big Brother, who's not only watching out for our good, but who is giving us everything we want, which goes far beyond everything that we need. Big difference between wants and needs, you see. And when we allow ourselves to become slaves on what amounts to the government plantation, that is evil. We have reduced our moral self to slavery to Big Brother. Oh yeah, this country fought a war to get rid of slavery. Oh yeah, we passed the amendments to the Constitution forbidding slavery and giving everyone born on our soil the right to vote. Oh yeah, we did that. But about 100 years after all that happened, someone invented the welfare state, the nanny state. And how many millions of people have voluntarily signed themselves on to the government plantation? Our forefathers laid their lives down to bring an end to that evil system of slavery, which the founders of this country wanted to get rid of, but knew they couldn't. And they made it possible for slavery to just go away of its own accord. I'm not going to get into that whole history lesson here. But this country was not founded on slavery. It was founded on freedom and in a world-changing compromise that allowed the Union to be formed, keeping the southern states in the Union. We became the greatest nation on the face of the earth. In 77 years after the founding of this country, we fought that great Civil War. But how many people have voluntarily signed back onto the plantation? Saddens my heart just to think about it. I hope you're not one of them. I hope you have declared freedom from slavery to all these government handouts, and that you keep your moral self high and upright and above becoming a slave to the pleasures that could be yours if you wanted to go that direction. I'm John Ackerman for Convention of States, Indiana.
Was that a good one or what?
I tell you, John is right on. He's right on the ball.
You know, he must have heard me say that I would die or that I would kill for a chocolate sundae. He must have heard me say that here recently. I don't know. Maybe that's what stimulated him to do that.
I think so. Probably the ice cream did it.
Very good. Always enjoy having John in one of his contributions. Well, let's wrap things up, Ken. Once again, we've kind of gone long tonight, but that's okay. Next broadcast, like we said, next Monday, the 24th. That's the roundtable broadcast, and that will definitely be an hour. Who knows, maybe longer the way we're going. But I also want to mention our national website, conventionofstates.com. That's where we're going to direct you to join Convention of States and get on board with us. Our national website, conventionofstates.com, and we will talk more about that on our roundtable on the next Monday evening, the 24th. So, Ken, you got anything else you would like to say this evening before we sign off?
Just come join us and be a part of history.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. And
Thank
thanks
you, Joe,
for coming on tonight. everyone, have a good evening, and we'll see you next Monday. Good night, everyone.
Good night.